Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So yesterday, if you remember, I talked about the data category. I showed you how to configure the data category. So which is great. So what I'm going to do today, right? I'm going to show you how to create an article and link the category to this knowledge article, right? It's pretty simple. Nothing fancy here. So the way to get started, right? So you go to this tic-tac-toe icon and just look for knowledge and it will take you here, right? And you will see something similar option here. Okay, so just click on new. So remember one thing, right? I mean, in your company, you might see maybe a different record types. So sometimes what happens, right? Some companies uses FAQ, how to guide, and different stuff, right? So they might create a different record type on the knowledge uh, object. And when that happens, right, you will see a different option to choose when you try to create an article. So in our case, I didn't create any record type. So I'm just going with the one default one that is the FAQ one, right? So that's the reason why I mentioned, right? You might see a different record type based on the business requirement you have in place. Okay, so I will say a very simple fact article, right? Questions. I'm gonna write a very dummy, stupid question, right? Do you need a license to install solar panel for your DIY, right? And the answer is no. Okay. So it's like I'm just doing a question answer, right? Because this is an FAQ, right? So FAQ often comes in the form of a question and answer, right? So after that, I'll do save. So that's great. Now remember, I've created a data category, right? So obviously I wanted to assign FAQ data category to this specific article. So what I'll do, if you look here, right, on the right hand side, so there's something called categories. If you haven't assigned anything, so I go to this drop down arrow. I'll do edit. So I'll select this knowledge one, and what I'll do, I'll just choose. Okay, no, I don't. I'll just choose this FAQ, right, and I'll do save. Okay. So now you can see that it's linked to FAQ. So we have assigned the data category. Okay, so now that's done. Now what I'll do, I'll go and do publish. Okay. So you can publish now if you want, or you can publish later. Sometimes what happens is that you can also assign to another person to review. If you have an approval process in place, you can do that. But for in this case, I'm just going to do a very simple publish, right? I hope that you guys know how to do an approval process because obviously, the prerequisite for this course certification is that you need to have an admin cert. So if you have done admin, you will know how to do approval process, how to create a record type. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not just going to repeat that stuff. Okay. So I'm going to do publish. So I published it. So the document is published. Now if I go to version, so you can say the version here. And if I wanted to say, if I change my mind and say I wanted to edit draft and I can pretty much change the question. So somebody say, hey, I don't want to use this DIY. Let's say, the requirement change because of the legislation change, depending upon the country you are, and you do need to have a license, right? So just for the sake of argument, and I'll do publish. Yeah. So you can do that, and now you go here, and you will see there are two versions here. Okay. So, and if you wanted to revisit the old versions, you can do that by going to let's say, government is confused, right? And they decide to, rechange it to no. So I'm just gonna restore it. So I just restore it, right? And I restore the article, and I say publish. Okay. So you can, revisit the different versions and you can restore it. So you see, this is the recent one. This is the one which you're going to see, right? And now, if you go to knowledge article, right, and So you can see that it's published, and under published article, you can see that in published. So you can use this with the case, right? Obviously, this is most commonly used for the service type of stuff, right? If your customer calls you and wanted to know something, you can pretty much link this knowledge article with the case so they can have a look. Or even for your portal, you can expose the knowledge article to your customer base. So that's one of the reasons why knowledge is very powerful in terms of the service side of things, and as well as from the community cloud perspective, right? Um, Experience Cloud. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to do. Easy, right? I mean, pretty simple. You can configure it. It's very easy to set up the stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in today's episode. So I hope you guys have an amazing Sunday. Adios.